Hey guys, this is Tommy from the Ravens Creek Study, and we are concluding our series on the pre-tribulation rapture. So I want to give a final word as the conclusion, and then we're going to jump into kind of an overview of the end times, just in case you're not entirely sure as to what to then believe. I want to go through all of it so that you can have at least a foundation from which you can study later. So I'm putting this at the end because I don't want to use this as an argument against the pre-tribulation rapture theory. It's just something that I've found to be true so often. It's not an argument against the pre-tribulation rapture theory because it's true of almost every single doctrine in Christianity that people hold to. So this is more of a warning for you to check yourself, no matter what you find yourself in. I find that the proponents of this theory speak quite harshly and rudely about anyone who opposes their mentality. That harshness and rudeness, it is not becoming for Christians. We are to have a Davidic heart. We're supposed to have compassion and mercy and love and gentleness and kindness and self-control. But instead, it seems like people just speak terribly harsh things. For example, the first quote that I used to introduce the theory gives perfect example. You can notice the harsh words. These tribulation saints wannabes constantly harp because Jesus and his disciples suffered persecution. We should expect no better. It's been my experience that the people with the weakest faith are generally the ones that talk the boldest. When the slightest difficulty comes their way, they cry to high heaven. Now, here's my question. Why is that necessary to say at all? Why is that necessary to say at all? Can you see the venom in that? Notice how the person who is speaking against the pre-wrath and post-tribulation positions doesn't really establish their own opinion, but rather mocks and ridicules the other opinion. Their words stand as representative because often the response is much more emotional than it is scriptural. I mean, when you're calling people tribulation saint wannabes and speaking against their walk with Christ, it seems much more personal than just an attack on the view itself. So here's another comment that I've gotten on YouTube. The problem is, you are making things worse by your false teaching to others. Without repentance for this, you will be held accountable. Since your mind is made up, there's no point in my making any further suggestions. You will realize your error when the rapture event takes place. At that point, the differing views will no longer be a topic of debate, and those foolish virgins who are left behind can focus upon spreading the true gospel and enduring until the end. I hope you become an exemplary tribulation saint. Good luck to you. So here's the thing. With this one, it's not so terrible until you get to that last statement. To say, I hope you become an exemplary tribulation saint, it's essentially them saying, go to hell. I mean, that's what the pre-tribulation rapture proponents would be saying at that point. Why is that necessary? Why can't you just simply say, I disagree with you, and here's why? So notice the assertion that the foolish virgins are they who don't believe in a rapture. Funny enough, I could easily make the opposite claim. The foolish virgins are they who believe in a pre-trib rapture, and therefore don't have enough oil to last through the whole thing. And also note, somehow, the pre-trib doctrine is called the true gospel. So I suppose when the gospel means your belief system instead of the good news, namely Christ and the freedom offered through him, then it makes sense why this would be said. And that's the point. That's my caution. Don't let your belief be what you call the gospel. It's not your belief. The gospel is something utterly different. It is the freedom that's offered through Christ. That's the good news. It's not your belief in a pre-trib or post-trib rapture or whatever else. You get what I'm saying? So this is more of just an examine yourself kind of statement. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time to get that end time overview.